Hi, welcome to another Friday Tips with Fenz down here in the Watts Factory, the nerve centre of FTP training down in New South Wales. Alright, what we wanted to talk about today is training and racing as a masters rider. Lots of people think that as you get older, the way in which you train and the way in which you race has to change. And the reality of this is that it really doesn't. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. Often what happens when we're younger riders is we get very much caught up, and I've talked about this before, in getting the kilometres in, the going out there and getting lots of Ks in the legs. And quite often masters riders have built up a great capacity to handle load and have put in thousands and thousands of kilometres over time. This has some physiological adaptations that occur over this length of time, which is a much better application of your neural pathways to fire specific muscle fibres in specifically the right way. And this has a benefit of meaning that we can utilise less oxygen at the working muscles to carry out the same level or intensity of exercise. Basically, we become more efficient. Now, as we get older, we tend to default to riding a bit slower and a bit easier. We do a lot more coffee rides. We might hook up with our mates and just roll around. And this becomes the issue. When you're about 30, our VO2 potential is pretty much maxed out. And early research used to suggest that as we went past 30 years old to 40, we started to lose VO2 max at a rate of up to 1% per year. Once past 40, this rate could increase, and by the time we were 50, our VO2 potential and our VO2 max had reduced significantly. More recent studies and the reality of more recent studies have shown that the reason that this happens is often not because the athlete actually loses or is predisposed to lose VO2 max. It's just that our nature of our training changes. So instead of training quite as hard, racing quite as much, we tend to ride more easily, more in that sort of endurance and tempo zones. So what we need to do as a masters rider is we really need to think about how we train. Training once past 30, and especially once past 40, I still consider as an endurance athlete between 30 and 40 years old, we're really in our sort of optimus prime condition. Really there to really get our best results, because we've had a combination of getting lots of kilometres in the legs over the last 10 to 15 years, lots of experience and ability to know when to go and whose will to follow. So once past 40 years old, we really need to concentrate on getting good quality intensity exercise through our normal scheduled training sessions. This isn't to mean that you have to continue to do VO2 max sessions the whole time, but putting in good quality sessions at regular intervals through our training plan has been shown to maintain VO2 max and maintain VO2 peak for longer periods. What tends to happen is we tend to detrain centrally and peripherally. By peripherally, I mean that in the muscles, our ability to utilise that oxygen and carry out muscular contraction reduces. Now, this can happen quite quickly if we don't do much high-intensity training. Exactly the same as training, if we don't train very hard, we can lose VO2 potential from a decrease in stroke volume and our central adaptations. So the key factor for us as older athletes is make sure you're getting some high-intensity exercise structured perfectly into your week. Allow enough recovery to recover from those sessions and then hit it hard again. What you'll find is you can continue to maintain fantastic condition well into your 50s and early 60s, and then continue to ride very hard and solidly up into 70s and 80 years old. Alright, I hope that's helped. Thanks very much. Bye bye.